If you like to talk about combat sports and you want to join the discussion, click the subscribe button below and the bell notification icon next to it and join Knucklehead Nation. FightersRep 7 Fighting Prides, Saturday, July 27th, 2019 at the Ames Sportsplex in Seal Beach, California. Tickets now on sale at FightersRep.com or watch it live right here on YouTube. What's going on, Knuckleheads? This is George with FightersRep, and this is our Henry Cejudo versus Marlon Moraes reaction discussion. So the UFC main event just went down between Henry Cejudo and Marlon Moraes, and I just needed to talk about this fight. A lot of people think Henry Cejudo is super corny. He came out with the crown and the and the whole, I don't know, a magic wand with a top hat, pulling rabbits and doing all kinds of crazy stuff during the weigh-in with Marlon Moraes. Marlon seemed extremely confident at the weigh-in, and for good reason. The guy's an absolute beast. He's totally jacked. And speaking of jacked, it looked like that is basically what spelled the beginning of the end for Moraes. Now, it was a 5-round championship fight for the bantamweight championship of the world. Henry Cejudo, already the flyweight champ, already the Olympic champ, came out with his gold medal. I mean, the dude is just an absolute character. I know people think he's crazy, but I love the intensity. I love the crazy intensity. He's almost like, I don't know, he's like a crazy little macho man or something. I love it. Like a Randy Savage almost. I love it. He's just like so out there, you know? So the fight starts, first round, Marlon Moraes is just teeing off on Henry Cejudo's legs and just beating him to the punch, beating him to the kick, really nailing him with some vicious leg kicks, causes Cejudo to sort of switch stances several times during the fight. You can tell that, these things are hurting. I mean, he's starting to get welts on his legs. The broadcasters, obviously Joe Rogan and the rest of them, are talking about it. Man, Moraes is just teeing off on him. Second round comes around, and you start to see the little cracks in the armor of Moraes. And you see that Henry Cejudo starts to change his game plan a little, more of a boxing, wrestling stance as opposed to the karate one he's been utilizing, and starts just going in the pocket against Moraes, just, attacking him, taking chances, putting serious pressure and pace on him. And that made a huge difference. He kept trying to put it on Moraes. I guess he figured, all that muscle is going to take a lot of energy. After the fight, he said afterwards that, he saw eventually his arms drop and it was time to eat. And it certainly was. By the time the third round came along, in the third round, Henry Cejudo kept coming at Moraes, and you're just not in a war of attrition going to beat a wrestler the caliber of Henry Cejudo, who's been taught how to strike. And, there's just nothing. There's just nothing for a guy like Moraes, who's, all jacked. There's nothing for him to do in a war of attrition against a guy like Henry Cejudo. There's nothing basically for anybody to do in a war of attrition against a guy like Henry Cejudo, who's an Olympic gold medalist in wrestling. That's the most exhausting sport in the universe, I believe, is wrestling. And you're just not going to be able to grind it out with a guy like that. And he just completely took over. I mean, as great as Moraes did in the first round, Cejudo did just as good and even better in the third round, finishing the fight with ground and pound, just absolutely pounding away with his forearm and hammer fists on Marlon Moraes until the referee was forced to come in and stop the fight. And say what you want about him, say what you want about him. He can be corny as hell. He can be cringe, whatever you want to say about him. But this man is literally trying to become the best combat sports athlete ever. He wants to be recognized as the best combat sports athlete of all time. He's got a gold medal in wrestling from the Olympics, and now he's a UFC double champ. He called himself Triple C because he's the champ. Wow. I mean, hey, say what you want about the guy. I love the guy. Knuckleheads. It's just, there's so much intensity. You know, when he was at the weigh-in in front of Moraes, he just kept breathing heavier and getting angrier and angrier and closer. Dana White had to kind of like separate them, you know, and Moraes was just like, who's this guy think he is? But he showed him who he thought he was in that fight. And then the same thing, like at the post-fight interview, he started coming closer and closer to the camera, holding his two belts and just angrier and angrier. And God, I love the intensity, Knuckleheads. I'm sorry if you think he's corny, but I love the intensity. I love the ability. The guy's just walking the walk, talking the talk. And then he called out Dominic Cruz. He called out Uriah Faber. He called out Cody Garbrandt. Talked about moving to 145 and fighting for a belt there. Just amazing. Just amazing. You know, they went from borderline banning the flyweight division to this guy coming along, smashing the flyweight division, smashing the bantamweight division, and now he's calling people out in the 145-pound division, and they're not, I mean, he's a problem, you know. Even at 145 pounds, you need to watch out for Henry Cejudo. You're going to have to shoot, in my opinion, someone's going to probably have to shoot him in the octagon if they want to beat him. That's the only way to beat the guy. I mean, how do you beat a guy like that? You know? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. What do you think, Knuckleheads? Tell me what you guys think. I'd love and appreciate your opinion. Who beats this guy? How do you beat this guy? You know? I don't know. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. Click the links below to get your FightersRep merch. And please feel free to donate below. Keep this conversation going. Much appreciated.